All right. Hello, everybody. It's Jesse, and day 2 of E3 is over. Technically, it's day 3 now, but, I wanted to sleep, so there you go. Let's get down to our day 2 review. So many games were played, and we're going to start off with my Xbox tour. Oh my goodness, I got to play Sea of Thieves. This may be my game of show. I haven't done day 3 yet, but this may be the best game in the entire damn place. The basic gist from what I can tell is that you make a pirate, I guess the way you want it. You play in a multiplayer world where, from what I was told by the devs, even though it was 4 people on each pirate ship, all 12 of us could have just jumped on one pirate ship and been like a 12-man pirate crew. I don't think there are rules in this game that I'm aware of, because I didn't see one. If you want to be pirates and go around with a huge crew, I guess you can do it. I guess that's possible. And then you go on fantastical adventures. There's hidden things throughout the world, and because it's a giant super world, there's all sorts of stuff to find, and then you compete with other pirates for loot and grog and, I don't know, being legendary. Then getting your treasure discovered by Nathan Drake. I have no idea how it ends, but if you've played Guns of Icarus, you will essentially understand how the boat mechanics in this game works. As a captain, you steer the boat, but your crew has to manage the sails, and you have to work together to line up your shots as your crew fires the cannons or repairs the hull, all that kind of stuff. Very, very similar gameplay mechanics. It was a very simplistic demo. It was just you and 3 other guys on a pirate ship, or you didn't even have to go on the pirate ship. You could just hang out on land or set sail to another island and explore around. There was so much freedom. It was great. It was great. I can't even tell you how much I enjoyed it, and I wish I'd gotten to play more. Next up was ReCore, which is Inafune's latest, and this is that game that was at E3 last year that everyone saw the trailer for and were like, what is that? It was this girl, and she was putting a core in this robot dog, and then she was moving the core to these other things, getting badass robots to help her fight other robots. Very cool concept. I was like, oh shit. So this is a game where you tactically have to move a core around to robots, and you have to make them come to life and use them in different situations. Not at all. This is not what I played at all. The game that I played is a game where you get robot allies, and then they stay with you forever, but you can switch between them. They have special abilities, and you need to synergize those abilities with your own abilities, which are 4 different types of ammo. You have yellow ammo, blue ammo, red ammo, and white ammo, and you have to switch between those depending on the color of the enemy. And, whatever the color of the enemy is, you use that type of ammo. And then you collect ammo, and sometimes the ammo runs out, all that kind of stuff. And then it's a puzzle platformer, essentially. You use your robot friends to help you get around, solve puzzles, move stuff back and forth, and try to find items throughout this world. It's really fun. I think the fun comes from the fact that it was so fluid. I didn't play much. I played roughly 1 level, which is not, in the grand scheme of things a lot. But what I played was a very fluid, wonderfully controlled game. It reacted very well to your movements, which you need that in a platformer, especially one where you are not only moving yourself, but things around you are moving, right? So if you hit a switch, stuff starts moving, and you have to hook onto that with one of your robots and then swing from another, and then you have a double jump and a dash and all sorts of stuff. It's a lot of fun. Still no clue what the game's about. Still don't have a clue if there's a story or what's happening in this world. Still, again, learned very little about the game, but what I played, I loved. And it has me interested in what's going to come down the pipeline. So it definitely was not what I expected, but still what I got was something that I loved. The next game on our list is Battlefield 1. I played it at the Xbox booth because I just was like, sure, all right, I'll play it. So we played on one of those big 64-player maps with the control points, A, B, C, D, E. Your usual Battlefield fare. Right away, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to run around as a soldier and try to figure stuff out. And there was none of that happening. Dudes were gunning me down left and right. Luckily, it wasn't snipers. I think the best part about this is at the beginning of this map, since it was in a town and it was in a pristine town, snipers couldn't see you because you're going door to door, which I loved. I love that part about this. So you actually were doing more hand-to-hand combat and using your bayonet or your shovel or whatever, which I thought was really cool to begin with. But as the world started to get more and more destroyed. It became easier for snipers to just gun your ass down, or if you were out in the open. And some of the weapons, it wasn't clicking with me. Again, controller. But I figured I'd switch up to a medic or a support character, something that I could help and follow behind my team. So what happened is my team decided to go infiltrate an area, and there was just an enemy tank there. And the tank not only destroyed the building we were in, but like kept gunning us down. We kept trying to retake it, and I was having none of it. So I got a tank myself, went around the outside of the map, came up behind his ass, and blew him up. And from that point on, I was like, oh, I'm just going to stick with what I always do in Battlefield, which is just get in vehicles. So I rode around in a tank for a good 5 minutes, murdering everyone. I had more kills running people over than I did shooting them with the weapon. It was hilarious. So I just rocketed up the scoreboard and ended up with 4th by the end of it. I was like, proof that sometimes press people are not the best at video games. The next thing I played was one of my favorite games at E3, at previous PAX. It's We Happy Few. It is a game that I can't even describing the vibe of this game is hard. I want to say it's kind of BioShocky, but it's not. It's like a very unsettling version of Britain if the Nazis would have won and they're all on drugs to make them happy kind of thing. I don't even know how to describe it to you. I guess the best way to describe this game is it is a procedurally generated open world linear story-lined game, if that makes any sense. Essentially, aside from a few key points and a few key moments in the story, it's procedurally generated open world. So you're trying to escape from a town that's different every time that you play, with different items here or there, different quests hidden around, but familiar landmarks, right? And every time you play, you're going to start from a different place or have a little bit of a different experience. You're going to, no matter what, though, still be doing the same overall story arc, but the things you do along the way will be different, if that makes any sense. Hopefully it does. Hopefully I'm explaining this correctly. I love the concept. I think it's awesome. I think the art style is great, and I love the fact that within this world, you are desperately trying to fit in and not be noticed for being a downer. And at the same time, not draw too much attention. So one of the cool things is, like, just don't look people in the face. Like, if you stare at someone for too long, they will legit be like, what's up with you? What's going on with you? Which is awesome. It's awesome. Everything about this game is so much fun, and I love it to death. So the next game that I am a massive fanboy of, because I was a fan of the comics way back in the 90s, is Battlechasers. You're playing as the characters from the comics, and a few years have passed, and this is a whole new adventure. The game itself is a mix between your standard RPG and something a little more akin to Darkest Dungeon. The standard RPG bit is you have your characters, your main characters, they can level up, they can gain access to new abilities, they can find items and weapons and all that stuff. On the flip side, the roguelitey side, there's a main camp where you can choose which characters come with you when you go through the dungeons or out into the world to go explore, and you can choose what they have on them, what they equip. You can choose what spells they bring or what items they bring. You can only bring so many potions, and you have to level up to get access to more. Each character has set special abilities that they can use in the overworld map, like a dash or a ground pound or a heal or something like that. And they're only usable up to a certain point. They don't refresh. So every time you go out, you have to be real tactical about what you use when and where. I dig it. I dig it a whole hell of a lot. And it's one of my favorite comics brought back. So what's not to love about that? It's pretty much everything I want in an RPG right now. And finally, one of the games I've been looking forward to most of all, Deus Ex. I got to play it. Unfortunately, I don't have footage of it. I wish I did. Here's just some footage of a previous trailer, but I got to play, and oh my god, was it awesome. So the mission we got to play is one where Jensen's working with some non-augmented humans, and I think with Interpol, and you're going to this old rundown hotel that was in the process of being built when all the augmented people went crazy. And so it hasn't been touched since, and a arms deal's going down. They have an undercover guy inside, and the options are you can either go in lethal or non-lethal. And I was like, bro, non-lethal. My Jensen doesn't kill. And then they give you a choice of weapons. You can either do long range darts, or you could have done short range, like knock them out gas kind of shit. And I went darts because my plan was sneak up on dudes and choke them out as per usual, and then go darts if they were too far away. So I jumped into this map, and there was a main objective, which was get to the point and secure the operative. But then there was another objective, which was find a radio antenna thing that's hidden somewhere on the map and shut that shit down if you can. So of course I'm like, I got this. And without fail, I went through undetected. I went through without killing anyone. And I also hit that objective, that extra objective, got to the end of the map. And I hear behind me some dude losing his shit, just going nuts. And at first I thought, oh, cool. Like, that guy's watching me play and he thinks this is awesome. Nope. I removed one of my headset ear pieces or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. One of the over ear things. And just to listen. And this guy was some French dude losing his damn mind that I was taking forever to play. I had an hour-long appointment. I was roughly 25 minutes in. There were numerous consoles open, and he was like, freaking out in my worst bad French accent, losing his mind about how he was supposed to be playing, and he wasn't playing, and I was playing, and it was insane. So I literally just put down my controller and said, it's all yours, dude, and walked away. I'll end up playing it again another time. But I don't know how that thing ended. I couldn't tell you how that demo ended. All I know is I got to a helicopter and the guy lost his shit. And I was like, okay, here. So that was my experience with Deus Ex. And that's also my experience with a lot of journalists who just are like, ugh, I'm important. I'm so cool. I demand this. It's like, ugh, I can't even enjoy, dude. Have fun. So, yeah, that was my experience with day 2 of E3. I loved every game I played. I could not even begin to tell you how much fun this E3 has been so far. It's been a blast. With that all said, thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with day 3.
UFO Commander, we are the future. We're gonna take you to the future. Then we're gonna get to the future, where everyone talks like they're from the future. UFO Commander, we are the future. We're gonna take you to the future. Then we're gonna get to the future, where everyone talks like they're from the future. Hello there, old sport. It's me, Just Cox, number one out of the land. The bee's knees, the tip-top shape, I'm swell shape, and I'm gonna make a fortune for my ass for more. Shut the balls up! UFO Commander, we are the future. We're gonna take you to the future. Then we're gonna get to the future, where everyone talks like they're from. Shut the balls up! UFO Commander, we are the future. We're gonna take you to the future. Then we're gonna get to the future, where everyone talks like they're from. Shut the balls up! Give me that! No!